Welcome back, YouTube. And today I'm going to be giving you guys 5 key points on when you should close out a credit account. Specifically, today we're going to be talking more along the sides of credit cards. And so let's go ahead and get straight into the video. So, the first reason that you would want to close out a credit account is when that credit account is no longer benefiting for you. So, what does that mean? So, if you have a credit card that has an annual fee and you're no longer benefiting from that card, it's probably a good idea for you to go ahead and close it. So, say you got a travel card, but you no longer travel, you don't see yourself traveling as much, and you don't see the benefits of having a travel card anymore, then it's more than likely a good idea for you to go ahead and cut that card and get rid of it than to just keep that card and have that card sit there dormant and inactive. Now, when you do this, you have to be thinking about the card and how it benefits you. So this card is your only credit card. You may want to hold on to it for a little while longer until you get another card that you can use to replace it to keep that revolving credit account reporting to your credit report to keep a strong credit score. You may also want to have a credit account stay open that, if that account has an annual fee, but it's your only revolving account, you may want to keep it open until you're able to improve your score enough to get another card. Now, remember, especially if you're someone who's in the credit game a little bit deeper, or who has these cards and has gotten them for things like travel or cash back or points, when you get ready to close out your account, most issuers are going to actually take your points from that account with the account when you close it. So make sure that you actually take those points off of that card and redeem them before you close that account. Now, reason number 2 that you should go ahead and close out that credit account is if you're struggling to keep up with multiple credit cards. Okay, let's just face it. For some of us, we may be able to task ourselves with keeping up with, 10, 20 credit cards, and we may be very organized. But for others, we may just not be organized enough to keep up with them. We may be starting to miss payments, have different things coming up in life, and they're just more of a distraction and a hindrance than a help. If that's become the case for you, then now more than ever, it's the time to say, okay, these cards are overwhelming me. They're an additional stress. They're not a benefit to me. Let me make sure that I'm going ahead and paying these cards off and getting rid of them. Now, please remember, before you close out those credit cards, to start prioritizing paying down your credit cards, and especially paying down the ones with those high interest rates first, as those are the cards that are going to accumulate the most interest and cause you the most financial hindrance. Now, point number 3. So if you are planning on applying for a big loan, such as a mortgage, closing some of your credit cards can be helpful because some lenders consider your debt to income ratio when they're evaluating you for a loan, and having too many credit cards open and they're evaluating those credit cards in with that, they may say, well, what are the minimum payments on these credit cards? Well, even though you may not have a minimum payment or be holding a balance currently, they may look back historically at your card and see what was the minimum payment and factor that in. So now every additional dollar that they decide to factor in from these credit accounts is going to in turn bring down the amount of house that you're able to buy. Now, going into point number 4, if your credit card issuer lowers your limit, that's typically a sign that they're perceiving you as a higher risk borrower. Now, when a bank sees you as a higher risk borrower, they're typically starting to watch your accounts, and they may begin to actually drop your rates or drop your they may begin to drop your actual overall limit. And then what's going to happen is they'll start to raise your interest rates because you're going to be going into that subprime category. And then to go a little bit further, what they're going to do is they're going to then look into eventually closing your card out. You would not want a bank to close your card out and you still have a balance on it, or even if you don't have a balance, because it's going to report to the credit bureaus that that card was closed by the issuer. So it's better for you to go and close it yourself. And last but not least, if you are not using a credit card, you may want to consider closing it. Reason being, the more credit accounts that you have open and you're not using, the more likely you'll have some different discrepancies that may pop up on your credit report. Maybe somebody steals one of those cards. You have an identity theft issue. That can hurt your credit score. Even trying to rectify identity theft can hurt your credit score. And of course, if the card has, no annual fee and a long-standing credit history, say that's your first card, then it may be a better idea to keep that card open. But in the case of, someone with multiple cards and multiple accounts and a good long-standing credit history, it may be a better idea for you to go ahead and close that account out. So all in all, that's it for today's video. And I just want to say, make sure that you weigh out both your pros and your cons whenever you're thinking about opening and closing credit accounts, and think about how they're going to affect your credit score, whether positively or negatively. And as always, I want to thank you all for watching. If you feel like you benefited from this video, then please don't hesitate to like the video. That's hitting that thumbs up button. Comment on the video and let me know if there's anything that you want to learn or see going down the road, as well as share these videos out with someone else who will benefit from them, and subscribing to our channel so that you can see every single video that we post. Make sure that you click that notification bell and you turn it to all. As always, thank you all for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.